Hey, it's Jen. Welcome to part 2 of my Viking Sea adventure. In today's video, we are going to head to Montenegro, and then we are going to Dubrovnik, Croatia, and to Split, Croatia, with lots of pool time and great meals, and I don't know, hilarity will ensue, and I'm really glad you're here. Okay, I got myself a very lackluster room service breakfast, meaning no like croissant or pain au chocolat or anything like that. I am trying to be healthy today. I overfed myself a little bit. So I just got muesli, fruit, and I'm gonna make my coffee in the room. Excuse the mess. And we're coming into Kotor, Montenegro, which is an absolutely beautiful little town on this side. And I know there's a lot more to see. So hold on, let me show you out there. Okay, got to move rather quickly this morning. I have my bigger bag with my rain jacket, my extra battery, everything I might need for the day. I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to come back to the ship before the guitar concert. So we'll see if I make it all the way through, because it's 9 o'clock and it's 8 o'clock in the morning right now. 8 o'clock in the morning. And the guitar concert isn't until 4, which means I will be out in port the entire day. I like to think I'm gonna make it. I'm curious if I'm gonna make it to the guitar concert though. So stay tuned, we'll see what happens. So we started this excursion with a trip up the Serpentine Road up to Sentengi. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but the old capital city. Now, this road is also known as the Road of Faith. It is a one-lane road with many, many switchbacks, but I found it to be absolutely beautiful, and the views were breathtaking is the only way to describe it. Okay, we are at 33,000 feet. I'm gonna walk this way. We stopped for a photo stop. Can you even? I am gobsmacked. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So where we are now is the old city capital, or the old state capital of Montenegro. And we just visited the home of King Nikola, which was beautiful. Learned a lot about the history of Montenegro and when it was part of Yugoslavia. And now we have free time. So the day could not be better after yesterday's very, very rainy visit. This is just lovely. The second part of my day was a trip to a small little island that had a monastery on it. First, we had some Prosecco in the garden of the monastery, and then we were treated to the most beautiful classical guitar concert I have ever heard. I then finished my evening with a walk around the old walled city of Kotor, which was just absolutely beautiful and so picturesque as the sun was starting to set. But by this time, I was completely exhausted, and it was time to head back to the ship. I'm trying to recover from the day I just had. We were here in Kotor. I forget the name of this bay. I will put it right here. I have it in my phone. My brain is just... Now, this is called a fjord in a lot of different places. Technically, it's not a fjord because a fjord is a glacier formed from a glacier and this was not, but it has the same shape as a fjord. Look at that. I have just been stunned all day by the beauty of Montenegro. I, honest to goodness, knew very little about it. And yeah, I'm gonna have to show you footage, and then hopefully maybe I already did show you footage. Maybe I did voiceover, who knows? Right now, all I know is I am completely starving. I have not eaten since breakfast this morning. I just kept doing other things. And because this was a tendering port, it took a lot longer to get back and forth, and I hadn't really allotted for that time in between the two excursions. So there was a lot of time spent doing that, and I could have planned a little bit better. In fact, let me see. Well, that's the tender from the MSC ship. There's an MSC ship, our cruise ship, and then another Viking ship is here in port as well. But what an amazing place. The trip up into the mountains, just, I mean, for reals. Okay, now I must go eat, gather my thoughts, think about everything I saw today. I want to come back here for sure. This is definitely on the list. Okay. Woo, I'm knocking over furniture. I'm back in the room. Sorry, coffee table. Oh dear, I really am making a mess in the room. And we're back. I'm back in the room. I was so hungry. And they had a barbecue. It didn't look good. There was it looked good if you're into meat, but there was a long line. It was kind of chaotic. So I went to the World Cafe and I had my sushi. They made mahi-mahi for me, which you can always get. You can always get a steak or mahi-mahi prepared fresh. I had vegetables. I had a baked potato. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. And then I went and got my tea. Now there is a 24-hour coffee, tea, and soda station. Come to think of it, I don't think there's soda. I lied, there's not soda. There's coffee, tea, and water and sparkling water that you can access 24 hours a day, and they have chamomile. So we know how I feel about a good chamomile tea. So I'm gonna do that. I just did a live stream with my patrons and sort of showed them around the place. The ship is hopping tonight. They have Name That Tune going on. They have a dance party later. And I said this to them, and I'll say it to you too. I feel like this is true of every cruise. I feel like it's a choose your own adventure situation, because there's people that have been doing full on party ship. Like they're out there's a nightclub on board. They're having their cocktail hour at the Navigator's Lounge. They're doing trivia. They're doing all that kind of stuff. And I think Viking used to have a reputation for being mostly older. I've definitely seen that change over the years. It's definitely still older people, but I'm also seeing a lot more younger people. Like there's people on board in their 20s and 30s, which is super fun. So there's that crowd. Then there's people like me that are doing mostly really intense shore excursions. We're here for the education. We're here to be in the ports of call. Most of us are in bed by 9 o'clock. I've got to meet a lot of them. We've kind of got our own little group going on. And then there's those that are really taking advantage of the spa and the pools, and you'll see them all hours of the day and night in their robe and slippers. Now, there was a possibility to turn this into, I believe, an 18-night voyage, because this ship is going to Venice and then on to Rome and then on to Barcelona. So you could make this almost a 3-week trip. I obviously am getting off in Venice, but I could understand why the people that are on like for 18 nights aren't doing excursions every single day. And as opposed to Disney, or on a European cruise, you usually have at least one day at sea. Like I'm going on one in June and we have 2 days at sea. Viking doesn't work that way. They have stuff going on every day. So if you want to pace yourself, especially if it's a longer trip, probably would be smart to look at the itinerary and kind of choose days where you're doing a little bit less or a little bit more, if that makes sense. I have not had such wisdom. I am all day, every day, this entire trip. Tomorrow, my excursion is really early, but it's only 4 hours. We are going to be in Dubrovnik, Croatia. So I do tend to come back to the ship and spend some time in the Nordic spa and just kind of chill a little bit tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, tomorrow is another full day. So hopefully I captured this incredible country well. It is not a big country by any stretch of the imagination. It exquisitely beautiful. And I hope to come back here. They have beach resorts. They have ski resorts. It's just, I had no idea. And I apologize, Montenegro, that I did not know more of you before, because now I really can't wait to come back. It's a beautiful place. It's a little tricky to get to from the US. You have to fly into another big city and connect, but definitely worth a visit, and certainly worth doing on a cruise. Absolutely loved today. So perfect. All right, I'm gonna drink my tea and go to bed, because tomorrow bright and early we start it all over again. Good morning from Dubrovnik, Croatia. My very, very first time in this country. So far, I have been very happy with myself with my wardrobe choices. Today I'm wearing this little skirt and this blue t-shirt. The weather has been mostly warm, but you never know. And also, like yesterday, we went up into the mountains for our excursion, so I was really grateful that I had an extra layer. That's just, layers is the name of the game, because even if it's warm out, the bus can be chilly. So I've got my little cashmere sweater today. I've also packed my rain jacket and my sun hat, because even though it's not forecasted to rain, it can still rain. So I like being prepared for everything. They keep telling us that we don't need our passports to go on shore. I just feel more comfortable carrying mine with me. It's just a me thing. You guys have heard me talk about this before. The smartest thing to do is to keep your passport in the safe and to carry a copy with you. I do as I say, not as I do. I actually did not make that happen. I am, however, leaving my driver's license in the safe. So worst case, if for some reason my passport should go missing, I have a second form of ID. I'm not sure what would happen. I think I have to go to the consulate here in Dubrovnik and have like an emergency passport made. I'm not an expert on that. I probably should be, but I feel confident that we would be able to work it out. But I do like that I have a form of ID in the safe and a form of ID with me. Whatever. Do what is comfortable for you. Again, I'm not an expert on these things, so maybe go with a YouTuber that's an expert on that. I can help you with your wardrobe though. That I feel, yeah, I'm good at that.
It's actually completely dead. Now, the reason why people are visiting Dubrovnik, it's actually on your right hand side. Take a look, the beautiful city walls, which are 1.2 miles long, and you can walk the entire circle all the way around it. They do surrounding an area which we do call Old Town of Dubrovnik, and this old town since 1979 is protected by UNESCO organization as a World Heritage Site.
So I must have read this, but somehow it did not register with me that I was going to be going to the Dalmatian coast, which is something I have been obsessed with since I was a small child. I think I read about it somewhere in a book, but today we were in Cavtat, which is a absolutely beautiful coastal town. I was completely blown away. Again, I cannot stop talking about how clear the water is in this part of the world. But yes, if you've never heard of Cavtat, I had never heard of it. It's one of those places that just feels magical and completely unique, and I loved every second. This is absolutely perfect. Now, I'll grant you, we ended up on a really perfect weather day. He was saying that the summertime here, this hat, as we know, is always doing what it wants, but I do love it. I mean, anyway, there's a reason why this is called the Forbidden City, but I don't remember what he said because I was too busy looking out at the Adriatic Sea. Absolutely breathtaking. Okay, so one thing worth noting is that during meal times, you don't have to be eating a meal to partake of included beer, wine, and Coke. So basically, anytime the restaurants are open for a meal, you can get drinks. If you go to get a Coke, like lunch is over, I think at 2 today, if you go to get a Coke at 2:20, they're gonna charge you. It's a strange system, but you get used to it. Cheers. Okay, after several hours poolside, including having a veggie burger, I don't know what's going on with my hair, at the pool grill, which was really, really good. I'm now having a Coke Zero in my room. Did I mention, I think I did, that all of the sodas are included and replenished every day that are in your little mini fridge here in the room. So that's really cool. I'm trying to decide what to do next. Here are the choices if you're interested. I have 2 hours, almost 3 hours before my dinner, and I have a reservation tonight at the chef's table. Something to note on the chef's table, they change, I'm gonna turn this light on so that I look younger. They change the menu every night. So you don't know what the menu is gonna be when you are at home and you make your reservation for the chef's table. The menu that they have, I don't love, that's for tomorrow night. So I checked and I actually had a reservation for tonight. When I do love the menu, I think it's gonna be yummy. So that's at 6:30 and it's like 3:30 right now. I could get myself together and go to tea again, which was lovely. Live music, lovely little pastries, finger sandwiches, might do that. Number 2, I could put on my workout clothes and go for a mile or so on deck 2. That would actually be really nice. Stretch of the legs, don't hate that idea. Option number 3, grab my book and go to one of the many locations throughout the ship. I am thoroughly enjoying Ina Garten's autobiography. Oh my gosh, it's so good, y'all. That's my 3rd option. Do I have any other options? I guess that's really it. I mean, oh, sorry. Option 4, put on my other bathing suit and go down and do the thermal spa, which I have not done yet today. So steam room, ice room, all of that. I already was in the pool once. I'm not really sure I feel like getting in a bathing suit again, so probably not gonna do that one. So stay tuned to find out which one I do. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. I'm out here on deck 2 to go for my walk, and look at that rain. I'm just gonna keep saying this. I had no idea this part of the world was this beautiful. Took me 54 years to get here, but I will definitely be coming back. Have I said that a lot too? I feel like I probably have. Beautiful. Okay, obviously what won was going for a walk on deck 2. So nice views. The ship isn't moving yet. We don't take off, embark. Is that the word? Okay, sail away until 4:30. So about a half hour before we're moving. So there's not much wind, which is great. And there's a great view. I really love this very cool bridge. He told us today what year that was built, but I don't remember. And then this is the port. And you can walk to the old town. It's like a 15-minute walk, but Viking also provides a shuttle. So if you didn't want to do an included excursion or a paid for excursion, this is the time to do it. Or excuse me, I should say this is the time to save the money, because you could easily just take this little free shuttle bus and it will take you right into the walled old city, which is where they filmed Game of Thrones and is probably the big draw for this port. So yeah, it's a really easy one to not schedule a shore excursion at all, or to just do the included walking tour. There you go. Okay, y'all, I'm laughing because I'm back from dinner. It was incredible. It was at the chef's table and they change the menu every night. So good. It was so good. Tonight was a California inspired menu, all fish. It was like, I did the premium wine pairing, which I will probably regret when I go to sleep tonight. If you know, you know. But I'm actually headed back out, which is insane because, and the light's not good right now, forgive me. I am determined to show you all aspects of the Viking cruise experience. And one of those aspects is the nightclub. I have yet to make it to the nightclub. There is a band. I did hear them a couple times. They're really good. I'm going to the nightclub. I forget the name of it, but I'm going to go there now. I'm taking you with me. We're going to see who is at the nightclub on Viking cruises at 9 p.m. at night. So I just want you to know that my heart was in the right place. But instead, I took a shower, did my skincare, and got into my pajamas. Because tomorrow I have to be at the port at 8:30, and I don't even remember the name of my excursion, but it's gonna be amazing, and I'll see you then. Bye. Good morning from Split, Croatia. I am looking at the ocean, so we must be docked on the other side. You can see the water behind us. Bit of an operational problem this morning. The toilets aren't working, and that actually happened the last time I was on this same ship, so I think it must be kind of a common, not common, but a thing that happens. Quick reminder, I'm sure you know this, never put anything other than toilet tissue down the system on a cruise ship, especially a smaller cruise ship. It just is not a good thing. So my guess is there's a clog somewhere in the system, and that's the problem, but we will sally forth. I'm all ready for my excursion, and I'm excited for a beautiful day. So let's go. Okay, so I came up here to deck 9 because they told me the bathrooms are working up here. Yes, it was a system-wide issue, and yes, it was caused by a guest flushing something that was not toilet paper down the system. So it did take the bathrooms down for the whole ship. So yeah, don't be that guest. It wasn't me, by the way. So yeah, they did come over and say that they have found the problem, and they are in the midst of fixing it. So that's good news. And I am headed out to my excursion. In Split, we started with a walking tour of Diocletian's palace, which actually blew my mind. In the words of our tour guide, everyone was here. The French, the Ottomans, the Romans, you name it, they have conquered and been in this palace, and it has all of the architectural styles. It defies reason the way that all the styles blended so beautifully. But if you are into architecture and you are also into history, you need to come here. Our guide explained things in such a phenomenal way, but do yourself a favor and go look up the history of this place. It was magical. Okay, I'm back on board the ship, getting ready to go to lunch. That was amazing. Sorry, I just stepped outside because, you know, how can I not? It's actually lovely today that we are docked in such a way that this is my view. I'm not even sure I'd ever heard of Split, to be completely honest. I'm not proud of that. That's just the truth. But we got to go to the palace, which is basically also the walled city. And we learned so much. We learned that everyone was here. The French, the Ottomans, the Romans, everyone was here, the Venetians, as is true of a lot of these cities in this region of the world. So there was architectural influence from all of those different periods and all of those different times. And she used the analogy of, you know, how many times do you remodel your house if you're in it for 30, 40, 50 years? And that's been here for 1700 years. So, you know, it's a long time. It's a long freaking time. And we get to benefit from seeing all the different layers, extremely well preserved, absolutely gorgeous. And then we went to the city of, I wrote it down, but it's on my phone. We went there, which is Toger, beautiful seaside town. Again, Venetians, Ottomans, French, all kinds of different Romans, architectural influences. And then we went to this gorgeous place and had a lovely snack and some wine and heard some traditional Croatian music. So 5 out of 5. Like today was a really, really beautiful excursion. Yeah, it was just lovely. I am now starving because I have not eaten all day. I had a few olives when we had our snack. By the way, in Croatia, your snack of the day is always seemingly, and also in Montenegro, going to be prosciutto, not prosciutto, prosciutto ham, which is, she said, very different than what they serve in Italy. I don't know. You make that opinion on your own. Cheese and bread, but I opted not to have that because they didn't have any that didn't have ham on it. So, which was fine because there's plenty of food here on the ship for me. So let's go have lunch. Yum. Oh, and at 4 o'clock we have a spa treatment. Okay, it's many hours later. I just spent about, 45 minutes right out there with my book and my feet up and listening to the sound of the water. Heaven, heaven. And now I've got a spa appointment. It is called the Nordic Restart, okay? It is a full body scrub that's supposed to like get rid of dead skin cells and so forth and so on, followed by a half body Swedish massage and then a Nordic scalp ritual. So in theory, I'm supposed to feel way better when I get done. I'm actually really excited about it. This is one of their signature spa services. I tried to get it before I came on board and it was sold out, and then an appointment opened up. So I won't film much in the spa. I'm not even going to have my phone on me. I showed you some pictures of it, when I first got on board. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I will review it for you when I get back. Got back from my massage and we are sailing away from Croatia and on our way to Italy. Okay, hopefully, let me open that a little bit more. So let's review the spa. Absolutely fantastic. Which, what earrings do I want to wear tonight? Probably these. I'm gonna go to the restaurant for dinner tonight, which does have a dress code, but it's not a serious dress code. It's just no jeans and no shorts. The other 2 restaurants encourage you to dress up a little bit more, so that's Manfredi's and Chef's Table. I know I originally said I was gonna go to the Chef's Table tonight, but I had a table for 2, which for me, Jones Road, what the foundation, if you care, for me, that would have obviously just been a table for 1, which is what I had last night and what I loved because I was able to, film. I didn't bother anybody. I wasn't, I didn't have to talk about anything. I didn't have to see anybody. But then they called and they said, your reservation has been put to a table of 5 or 6. And I can do that. Look at my mascara. Guess who did that? If you're a regular follower of my regular vlogs from home, which by the way, go ahead and subscribe if you're interested in that. That is Sadie, and she knows to get my Chanel mascara. Do you think she ever tries to get my cheap mascara? No, just the Chanel. Okay, there's no way I can put mascara on and talk to you. Anyway, so I decided not to go to Chef's Table. This Nordic Restart, I actually feel really invigorated. So it was a full body blueberry scrub, and then you shower, and then they give you a full body massage, which they said was only a half body massage, which I thought meant like my upper half of my body, but what it meant is my back and my legs, which is great. And then they did this Norwegian scalp thing, and I left it on. He said I could. I used my hot brush on my hair because my hair was looking wild, but yeah, I mean, I left it on. So if some of you who, and I get, if I'm talking to you, that would have been a no-go because of the hair situation. For me, it wasn't a big deal, but I actually do feel it's called a Norwegian Restart. Do I feel completely restarted? No, but I feel like partially restarted. So it was definitely worth doing. I am off to casual dinner Then we have the captain's toast and like final evening thing, and the Beatles playbook. So I don't think I'll be allowed to film during the show, but I will show you dinner. And I might try, they have a whole Dan Dan noodle station that I might try tonight. So yeah, let's go. Whew. I just came out to walk on the deck. I'm kind of still full from lunch. So I'm gonna walk some steps and see if I can get an appetite going. Not bad view. Crazy. So I'm a pescatarian, but I had been eating so much fish and I kind of wanted to see how Viking handles their vegetarian choices. So I ate all vegetarian tonight. Oh my gosh, this was maybe my favorite meal on board, maybe tied with the chef's table, but Manfredi's was good too. What can I say, you guys? The food on Viking is good. Okay, so apologies, nighttime lighting. I'm back in the room. I need to get the energy to go get ready for bed. I always do this. I didn't mind staying up late tonight because we do not get into Venice until noon tomorrow, and my first excursion isn't until 2, my only excursion. I'm going to show you some clips because I forgot that the entire crew gets up on stage during the last big evening performance. I'm so glad I went. It was so sweet. They do such a good job. I mean, just adorable. And also I forgot that always with Viking, well, I don't know if it's always, the sailings I've been on with Ocean, your cruise director and your assistant cruise director also inexplicably are phenomenal singers. No idea. I don't know if that's a hiring requirement. I don't know if I just got lucky. But we had performances from both of them. Jenna is our cruise director, and oh, forgive me, I can't remember the name of our assistant cruise director. I have not been as active with the evening activities as I have been on other sailings, simply due to the fact that these excursions have kicked my butt. Not in a bad way. I've learned a lot. I've been super busy. I've seen incredible things. I don't know when I'll come back to Croatia or Montenegro. I don't have any regrets, but your girl can only do so much, and choices had to be made. So, but the show was great. The cast was amazing. It was just so fun. It was just so fun. And then I listened to the pianist in the atrium for a few minutes, chatted with some folks because I have all kind of friends on here now. And yeah, now I'm going to, well, first I got to shower and then I'm going to go to bed. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Next week, I'm going to bring you a video all about my trip to Venice, specifically Murano, where they make the glass. I'm going to share more about the ship itself, and I cannot wait to see you then. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're finding joy.